Beyond the Badge is brought to you by the Edina Crime Prevention Fund and Orange Theory Fitness.
Welcome to Beyond the Badge, a program about the inner workings of the Edina Police and Fire Departments. Thanks for joining us. I'm Sergeant Brian Hubbard. On the last Sunday in September of each year, Minnesota firefighters gather in St. Paul to honor and present flags to the surviving families of the state's fallen firefighters.
Robert Reiner's Minneapolis Fire Department, April 1, 1979.
Today we both mourn the loss of these fallen Minnesota heroes and honor their lives. We express our deep gratitude to them and also to today's courageous Minnesota firefighters who risked their lives to save our lives.
Minnesota Governor Mark Dayton and several other dignitaries opened the ceremony with words of support for the families. A total of 225 Minnesota firefighters have died in the line of duty since the first line of duty death was recorded in December of 1881. 120 years later, the first Firefighter Honor Guard was established. Then, in 2012, this memorial was built near the Capitol. This year, 8 names were added to the memorial after those firefighters were posthumously identified. Edina Fire Chief Tom Schmidt says this ceremony is meant to recognize their sacrifices as firefighters.
The meaning behind all this is the firefighters, men and women that have given the ultimate sacrifice, have laid their life down to protect and serve the communities that they protect and serve. And it's a big sacrifice, and we want to recognize that and honor them for the years to come.
The Minnesota Fire Service Foundation helps fund maintenance of the memorial site and also provides scholarships to fallen firefighters' families. If you'd like to donate or find out more information, head to the Minnesota Firefighter Memorial Service and Foundation's website. When a police officer in Minnesota is killed in the line of duty, the Minnesota Law Enforcement Memorial Association steps in to support the officer's family and department. Edina TV's Dietrich Nissen spoke with several of LEMA's members to find out more about the group's work.
When this honor guard took the stage at Wayzata Officer William Matthews' funeral, the only message these officers wanted to send was one of support.
It's about providing that best service, that last goodbye to that officer, for that family, for that department, and for the community.
Edina Officer Nick Peterson is part of LEMA, Minnesota's Law Enforcement Memorial Association. His first experience with the group was at the funeral of Cold Springs officer Thomas Decker.
Tommy Decker got killed right at the beginning of my career, which is almost 6 years ago. And there's been some since in the state of Minnesota here. The overall feeling, I believe, for most officers, if not all, and also the public, is what can we do to help? It's so challenging and kind of a helpless feeling to be at home, at work, and not be able to assist in some way. And when I saw LEMA and what they do, they operate at such a high professional level. I wanted to be a part of that.
Peterson joined LEMA in 2016 and is now a part of the group's 28-member Honor Guard. Within the Guard are 4 teams: a rifle team, casket team, caisson team, and colors team, which is who Peterson serves with.
I'm still new, but I'm very proud to be on this team because they operate at such a high level of excellence.
We have a motto in LEMA. It's called "The best we can do is the least we can do."
As a former Edina officer and current LEMA board member, Jim Riggs says the group's goal is to make sure the surviving family is taken care of.
We feel it's a privilege for us to be able to step in. We're grateful for the opportunity to assist those departments in their time of need. And it's logistics. It's everywhere from planning the processes. It will also communicate to the surviving family what services are available through LEMA and through other organizations for long-term disability and survivor benefits.
And though the public may not serve with LEMA, Peterson suggests one thing any resident can do.
I would recommend to continue to be a part of these officers' funeral. There's nothing more important for that family and those officers who are on that procession to be looking on each side of the street and seeing it lined with citizens with their flying those American flags and saluting.
Because just like LEMA, simply being present for a surviving family ensures their loved one's goodbye isn't done alone. In Edina, Dietrich Nissen, Edina TV.
If you'd like to learn more about the organization or donate to LEMA, check out their website. Minnesota Task Force 1 consists of some of the most highly trained emergency rescue personnel in the state and is currently training more members. In order to join the elite group, recruits must take 4 classes during a 2-year cycle and pass multiple exams. Classes focus on rope rescue, trench work, confined space, and structural collapse training. The group was recently at Minneapolis Emergency Operations Training Facility, where recruits were asked to conduct a search and rescue operation for a utility worker. Task Force Administrator Pete Fisher says the goal is to ensure these firefighters can lead or assist in a variety of rescue situations.
There's a lot of information that we're asking these guys to retain, a lot of technical information. It's also a physically strenuous class. These guys are doing a lot of climbing, a lot of lifting, a lot of moving through tight spaces, and they're also really coming together as a team. We're pretty excited that at the end of this class, these guys will be better prepared to conduct confined space rescues within their home agencies and within the task force as a whole.
Minnesota Task Force 1 is made up of more than 220 members from 5 areas: Rochester, St. Paul, Minneapolis, Dakota County, and Edina. Just a few months after graduating from the rigorous training course in St. Paul, Edina Canine Ike was forced into medical retirement. Ike was diagnosed with idiopathic epilepsy, a condition that causes seizures. In order for the department to receive a new canine at no cost, the city would have had to surrender Ike to the canine vendor or pay $8,500. However, Ike's handler, Mike Bankston, felt the two bonded over the year and hoped to keep Ike as a pet. Thanks to a fundraising campaign led by the Edina Crime Prevention Fund and the generous donations of more than 110 people, Ike gets to live out his life with Bankston.
It's amazing. I don't even know where to start with just how grateful I am, and I'm sure if he knew what was going on, how grateful he would be. Just the fact that the outpouring of support, I mean, from the city, the police department, the citizens, the partners, everybody that ended up donating money so we can actually stay together.
Officer Bankston will retake the 12-week canine course with a new dog this coming spring. On behalf of the City of Edina's Public Safety Team, thanks for tuning in to learn a little bit more of what goes on beyond the badge. Until next time, stay safe.